we could all please rise, we'll be led in prayer by Alderman Sam Browning.
Almighty God, we ask for your blessing upon the members of this council as we assemble here in this chamber to conduct the ongoing business of our city. With your guidance, we will strive to ensure that our decisions are for the common good, and your inspiration will install respect, compassion, and thoughtfulness in all of our deliberations. Give us the strength and the wisdom to lead by example as the people's representatives, and that peace and harmony will mark all of our proceedings and keep us faithful to the trust placed in us by the citizens of our community.
Amen. Alderman Joe DeLucia, please lead us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The adoption of the minutes from February 4th and 19th of 2019.
I'd ask for a motion, please. Pro Tem Nash, Alderman Gould. Is there discussion on the adoption of the minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor? It's unanimous.
Proclamation in memory of Jojo Kolodnicki, Jr.
Joshua, could you join me, please? We actually have a proclamation for Joshua and Azariah as well. But I'd like to read this into the public record. Whereas Joseph Jojo Kolodnicki, Jr. was born in Norwich on March 13, 1976, to Joseph D. Kolodnicki, Sr. in Virginia, and was their eldest son. And whereas Joseph Jojo Kolodnicki, Jr. at an early age felt a great passion and a serious love of expressing himself through art, and in 1986, at the age of 10, he won the Town of Montville Art Award. Whereas Joseph Jojo Kolodnicki, Jr. continued to progress with his artwork and has shown in many galleries throughout Norwich, including Slater Memorial Museum, and was a large part of the Norwich art community and Norwich. And whereas Joseph Jojo Kolodnicki, Jr. was the father of two sons, Azariah J. Kolodnicki and Joshua Kolodnicki, who were the pride and love of his life. And whereas Joseph Jojo Kolodnicki, Jr. received authorization from the author of The Secret of NIMH to write the sequel, he completed a draft and had a publisher lined up for his sequel, Escape from NIMH. And whereas Joseph Jojo Kolodnicki's Jr. family has graciously donated the pencil sketch of Abraham Lincoln to the city of Norwich for display, so many may see his art and appreciate what a great talent he had. Now, therefore, I, Mayor Peter Albert Nystrom, and Norwich City Council President Pro Tem Bill Nash, on behalf of the Norwich City Council and the citizens of the city of Norwich, to hereby thank Joseph Jojo Kolodnicki, Jr. for his artwork and enduring friendship he has given to the citizens of Norwich, and for his dedication as a mail carrier to downtown Norwich, always with a smile and a kind word. Dated this 4th day of March 2019. It's signed by myself and President Pro Tem Bill Nash. Thank you. Please.
Petition and communication. Letter of removal from the chairman of the Norwich Historic District Commission regarding an absent member.
Have a motion, please, to accept the correspondence. Pro Tem Nash, second Alderwoman Gould. Is there discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Vote is 7-0.
City Manager's report.
Thank you. This is the City Manager's report for March 4th, 2019. Josh Pothia and I met with the Board of Education city department heads, volunteer fire chiefs, and Otis Library regarding the upcoming 2019 to 20 budget process during the past 2 weeks. I attended the conference, Connecticut Conference of Municipalities Board of Directors meeting on February 21st. The mayor, controller, Pothier, and I attended a meeting regarding the upcoming superintendent search. I attended the mayor's workshop with the council that was held at Foundry 66 on Saturday, the 23rd. They also met with the mayor, superintendent Abby Dolliver, and staff regarding the Route 82 intersection by Mahan School. The traffic light timing has been adjusted, which has eased the congestion slightly. 46 first graders from Mahan School enjoyed an impromptu tour of City Hall on February 27th. Thank you to my assistant, Jackie Barbarossa, the mayor's secretary, Bonnie Kuprick, and Alderman Bill Nash for hosting the students and chaperones. The students especially like posing for pictures in the council chambers, I might note. Norwich Youth and Family Services will be hosting a reception for National Youth Services Day on Friday, May 3rd in council chambers. This year's celebration will coordinate with the city's World Youth Day celebration. Individual youth who exemplify the standards of National Youth Service Day will be presented with certificates of recognition. The deadline for submission is April 12th. I received notification from the U.S. Department of Justice that the Norwich Police Department assisted with the investigation of 2 men that will be serving time in federal prison for their roles in the southeastern Connecticut heroin trafficking ring. Thank you, Norwich Police Department, for assisting in this investigation. The city has received 14 applications for the position of Public Works Director. I will be reviewing them with Bridget Marks, Human Resource Director, to determine their qualifications. Thank you to Norwich Events Organization, sponsors, and volunteers for the 6th annual St. Patrick's Day Parade and Festival. The streets were filled with people of all ages who enjoyed the festivities. I have attached the notes from Jim O'Shea of Achievement Unlimited of Connecticut regarding the council workshop that was held on February 9th regarding the progress of last year's goals and objectives. Also attached is the Treasurer's report from Mike Gualtieri for the quarter ending December 31st, 2018, 4-year review. And that completes my report for this evening.
Thank you. Before I ask for questions, I'd like to also report that the city manager and I met with Governor Lamont as well as Lieutenant Governor Susan Bysowitz this afternoon. The meeting was arranged by our Senator Kathy Austin. Senator Formica joined us, several other state reps from the region, as well as 16 other locally elected officials, mayors and first selectmen. And we were all there to express our concern about the possibility of a reopening discussion in the General Assembly as to where a 3rd casino might go. If you recall, the previous legislature and governor made that decision, closed the door on that discussion. East Windsor was selected by the General Assembly. It wasn't something done by the tribes. The state made that decision through the elected leaders in the last General Assembly. And we expressed our grave concern about revisiting that issue. We feel strongly that it should remain as it is, that the selection process has been met, and that it's in the best interest of all the cities and towns across the state of Connecticut not to mess with the federal compact. For jeopardizing that would cause great economic harm across all budgets, including cities of Bridgeport and New Haven, who at this time are pushing to have that discussion reopened again. So I wanted to share that with all of you, as well as remind everyone that our next council workshop is on the 16th of this month, 9 o'clock at Foundry, and it's to be followed with another council workshop on the 30th of this month, again at Foundry at 9 o'clock. Thank you. Are there questions for the city manager? Yes, Alderman DeLucia.
Mr. Salomon, the second item in your report, is that 2 different items? The mayor, comptroller, and yourself attended a meeting regarding the upcoming superintendent search. Is that the superintendent of schools search?
Yes, that's we had a separate meeting on that. That was a consultant that is doing the search and wanted to interview people on what the attributes of a new superintendent should contain. So I gave the consultant my views on that.
Okay, so with regard to the superintendent search, are you familiar with, or have they made you aware of the committee that's going to conduct this search, particularly the composition of the committee?
No.
If I may, I believe the board appointed themselves as their own search committee, just for the public record.
Thank you, that's all I have.
You're welcome. Yes, Alderwoman Philbrick.
So if I, just to follow up on that, the Board of Education has appointed themselves as the search committee.
That's what I read in the newspaper story. Must be true, it was published.
Don't believe everything you read
Why?
in the paper. And I'll be quite frank, I have issues with that. The transparency that we have advocated for seems to be slipping away faster and faster and faster and faster. I have always been an advocate that right now we're hiring a superintendent. We all know that the Board of Education and the school budget is the biggest piece of the pie in the city of Norwich. Why is there no one from the city council who gets to sit in at least as a member of the committee so that they could bring that information back to us? We're hiring a public works director. We will be entering into a contract with this person, and we will be given, once all is said and done, we will be given a piece of paper that says John Smith or Mary Smith has been hired at X amount of dollars with the following. There is no communication. It's like, this is what we're doing, this is what some people are doing, and here, now it's done. So I really think that we need to get back to being much more transparent. And in that same note, when I was a council member in my former residence, when the city received correspondence from the citizens, that correspondence was read into the record. I have here before me a letter from a person who the public will never see. And this person brings out some very interesting points. Why don't we read correspondence from the citizens of the city into the record? Why don't we publish them on the website so other people can see them, so that they can have a discussion? I really feel that we need to start being more open, and people can if they're interested, they'll look at it. If they're not interested, well, then some might say it's a waste of time. But so we're going to hire a superintendent, and the Board of Education is going to make the decision. I assume that means they're going to negotiate the contract and provide the compensation and the benefit. I have a real problem with that.
Thank you. Pro Tem Nash?
City Manager, I was just wondering if we're able to set up meeting times for the fire service and apparatus study, which we asked for the analysis to be done by September.
Yes, we have the first Chiefs meeting that will be coming up next week. Councilor Nash.
Thank you, sir.
Further questions of City Manager? Seeing none, thank you.
Citizen comment on resolutions.
I declare citizen comment on the 3 resolutions listed on the agenda open. Invite anyone who would like to speak to them to approach the microphone. Please state your name and your local address for the public record. Each person has 3 minutes. Is there anyone who would like to address the council on the 3 resolutions listed today? Yes, sir.
Marvin Ceruto, 100 Star Street, Norwich, Connecticut, United States of America. I just wanted to speak in favor of all 3 resolutions and would like to see resolution number 2 entertain some conversation. I'm just kind of curious on the process of that. I know the amount may appear to be smaller than most amounts that we deal with, but I believe the process and the solution is very important with that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else like to join us under citizen comment? Anyone else under citizen comment? Third, final time. Anyone else under citizen comment? Seeing no one else, thank you all. Declare it closed.
New business resolutions, number 1, relative to holding Norwich Noontime Rotary Carnival event at the Viaduct Thursday, May 23rd, 2019 to Monday, May 27th, 2019.
Motion, please, to bring it forward. Pro Tem Nash, Alderwoman Gould, is there discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? It's unanimous, the vote is 7-0.
Number 2, to reallocate funds from the 2018-2019 capital budget to purchase a compressor and a zero-turn mower for the Public Works Department.
Motion, please, bring it forward. Alderwoman Gould, seconded by Pro Tem Nash. Is there discussion? Alderwoman Gould?
For the public's edification, there was money left over when we purchased a new plow truck, and our former Director of Public Works, Mr. Thompson, brought this to the Public Works Committee, said that since this is money in the capital budget that must be spent, these were the two items that he wanted to spend it on. We voted on that to approve that purchase, and we've brought it here for the council tonight.
Thank you. Is there further discussion? Yes, Alderwoman Philbrick.
Again, I'll speak to the issue of transparency. When the departments issue their requests for capital improvement items, a list is made, and then that list is culled depending on funding. On Friday, I went to the comptroller's office to see where in the current fiscal year the zero-turn mower and compressor were on the capital improvement list that wasn't funded, and lo and behold, they were never on the capital improvement list. Do we or do we not have a process whereby, so if the finance department says in the capital improvement, I need a new copy machine, I need a new calculator, they put that in the capital improvement budget. It may get pulled. So why is it that somebody can come in after the fact and request something that they didn't even request the last time? I have a hard time understanding it. Why does this go to the top of the list? And the compressor, Tony actually had to call the Public Works Department to find out where the compressor was going to be used, and it's going to be used in the Asylum Street garage by Mr. Raymond and his crew, because evidently, according to the city records, they don't have a compressor, even though they do have a compressor. But the one that they have is reaching its last. So the point I'm trying to make again is, where is the transparency? Where is the policy and procedure and the protocol? Either, if we're not going to have one, fine, then somebody needs to tell me that, and then I'll just sit back and these things can sort of morph as they always do. But otherwise, if we have a policy and procedure, we should be following it.
Thank you. Is there further questions or comments on the resolution? Just for public record, I'm sorry, did your hand go up?
Yes.
Please, go ahead. The floor is yours.
Well, I think that Alderwoman Philbrick's comment needs to be addressed. We have two members that sit on the Public Works Committee. Maybe either one of them could discuss with us how this decision was made. It may allay her concerns that she's expressed tonight.
Alderwoman Gould?
This was the request to transfer the money, to take the money that was left over and put it to the purchase of these two pieces of equipment was made by the former Public Works Director, Mr. Thompson. He made the decision what he needs in his department, what is at the top of his list, obviously, for what needs to be purchased. And again, this is money that must be spent. This is from the capital budget for 18-19. It's money that has to be spent. It cannot go back into the capital budget. So he made the determination what he felt was what items he needed most, and gave this to us at the meeting.
Yes, Alderman DeLucia.
So then it may be fair to say that these were two things that were unforeseen at the time when Mr. Thompson submitted his capital budget, and therefore didn't appear on his list because they didn't need to be replaced at the time he had to submit a budget, but have since risen to the top because they've either broken down or they've reached the end of their lifespan sooner than that he may have thought. But I guess my point is that, so those things do happen, and also that's why we hired the city manager to hire department heads to make those decisions for us. Fair statement?
Yes.
Thank you.
Please, Alderman Nash.
I just want to make a comment, too. I've sat here for a while in many of these budgets and capital things, and I'm aware that there are many department heads who want a lot of items and realize there's only so much money that they can get for their projects or for their items that they need. So there are a lot of times they do not place these items on the capital list knowing that there's a certain amount of money, it's not finite, it's only a small amount that they can use to get at certain projects or items that they need. And, I mean, for something with this project, for instance, where he saved $17,000 on the purchase of a plow truck, I think shows great diligence on his part and the city's purchasing department and Josh to come up with the best deal that we can get. And if this money was all earmarked for the Public Works Department and they were able to save this money, and because it's such a small amount in the big picture of things, I know $17,000 is certainly not a small amount of money to me, but in running of the city, $17,000 in the Public Works Department where they could pick up a few items that will help make their lives a little easier and get jobs done a little easier and better. I've seen it before. We've all sat here and have voted on switches when people needed to reallocate things because they've saved money on this, but they still need that. So I don't think this is something that's secretive or hidden away or underhanded. I think it's just, this is how it's done. He saved $17,000. The money was earmarked to his department. He was able to purchase 2 other items without having to come this year to the Capitol looking for that money. So I say kudos to the Public Works Department and the committee for saving us that $17,000 to begin with and purchasing 2 items that are needed by the city without coming back and asking us for more money.
Thank you. Is there further comment, questions? Seeing none, all those in favor of the resolution? That's unanimous. Vote 7-0.
Number 3, relative to accepting a donation of a Lincoln sketch from the Koldenicki family.
Motion, please, bring it forward. Alderwoman Gould, seconded by Pro Tem Nash. Is there discussion? Again, on behalf of the city, we're extremely grateful for the most generous gift and for all your participation this evening. Very, very grateful. All those in favor? It's unanimous. Vote 7-0.
Motion to adjourn?
There a second? Nash, seconded. All those in favor of adjournment? It's unanimous. Thank you. We are adjourned.
restore part of the restoration of the tax